Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today is going to be very different because I'm 1 week post surgery and I wanted to film, but I cannot do hair videos right now. So if I sound winded, all that good stuff, it's okay. I'm fine. It's just the pain meds, they wear me out. So a lot of you guys have asked me to bring makeup on my channel. And I used to do a little bit of makeup on my channel, but nobody watched it, which was fine. Like, the people that watched it and enjoyed it, it was great. I'm not one of those people that's like, oh, if I don't get this many views on a video, like, I'm not gonna do it, because I already told you guys, like, I'm not here for business. I'm here for, like, the community, you know? And so I figured I would come in. I just want to play in some makeup. I just kind of feel kind of grody and I don't know, I feel like a little cockroach, even though I know I'm still cute. So I haven't put on makeup in a really long time, and so I just wanted to play in my stuff, just mess around with what I have, and I figured that would be a way that I could just kind of, you know, bullshit and just update you guys on what's going on, let you guys know how everything went and how things have been, because this last week has been insane. So and I'm also going to take down my braids and we'll see how everything looks. I use the Alikay Lemongrass collection. So if you want to hear how surgery went, want to see me do some makeup, I say you guys pull out your makeup or your hair products, whatever. Let's sit down and chat. So if you hear a cat, that is not Z. Hey Ellie, come here. It's okay. She like hears me talking and now she's nervous. I think she thinks someone else is in here. No one else is in here but me, baby. Hi. How's it going? You can't see her right now, but she's right here. I think she's about to walk through all of my products. If you see that ear at the bottom of the screen. So Ellie was my grandpa's cat. I'm gonna go ahead and get started, but she was my grandpa's cat and now she is my cat. We took her in August. Yeah, we took her in August, and she was my grandpa's cat. His health had been waning. I'm sorry, I'm having a hard time getting my life together. His health had been waning for a hot minute, and he had reached a point where he knew he could no longer take care of her. And he asked us to take her. He knows that I love cats. I do. You guys know I have Z, so I do have another cat. Ellie has been with us since August. You guys just haven't met her because she's been hanging out in our downstairs like formal room since she got here. And she has finally migrated to my room. And I think she will probably stay in my room for a while. Z has not been happy about her being here, so a lot of the times when you hear the dogs barking, it's Copper trying to tell me that Z's going in that room to fight Ellie. Also, this is the precision brow pencil from Colourpop that's Ellie playing. So she finally migrated to my room. She got the gumption to come up. She's a very skittish cat, but she's super sweet. Super loving, but we did lose my grandpa on Tuesday, so try not to cry in this video. So it's been really hard trying to recover physically when I'm also trying to recover emotionally. So she's my cat now, and I think that's how he wanted it. I'm okay though. It's just hard because me and my grandpa didn't always have a relationship. He was very fickle at the beginning of my life, and now about like the end of my high school career, he had an episode that really kind of woke him up, and So now after that, we had a really good relationship. Not that our relationship was ever bad, it was just more so that he was absent. And he tried his hardest, even though he wasn't physically capable of doing much. But it didn't matter, like, that was my grandpa and I loved him dearly. And it hurts knowing that I won't see him again. But we're not gonna keep it sad on here, okay? So yeah, the Colourpop brow pencil is amazing. I absolutely love this. This is like my everyday pencil. I go between this and the Anastasia dip brow, but I accidentally ended up with 4 of these. Funny story, I made an order from Colourpop and they messed up my order. They sent me like the ILoveSarahii palette instead of the complexion products that I had purchased. I'm just color correcting before I apply. I like to do this because it gives me an easier time, just an easier finish. I don't have to apply as much under eye concealer when I'm brightening. And this is the Instant Age Rewind Dark Circle Eraser. What color is this? This is golden. I prefer to use a golden color to color correct. I don't need an orange. And I'll just do like around my mouth. This is great to highlight too. If you just want to go simple and just do like a highlight and correct all at one time. But I will use this to like correct dark areas, which I don't even really have that many anymore. That's how well the Urban Skin has been doing for me. But anyway, when I made that Colourpop order, somebody I guess got their lines crossed because I got the wrong order. And then when I sent in the pictures of what I received showing that I got the wrong thing, they were like, oh, it's fine, like, no worries, we apologize, we will send you what you ordered free of charge, just keep what you have. It was really cool of them that they didn't make me send back the palette and stuff. So I obviously kept the palette, and when they sent the order that they missed, somehow my original order showed up the same day. I have no clue, guys. I don't know what they were doing over at Colourpop, but so I ended up with 2 of everything. I had ordered 2 of those brow pencils, so now I have 4 of them. I have 2 of their foundations, 2 of their concealers, 2 of the lip glosses that I got. Some of it I gave to my mom. She doesn't wear a lot of makeup, but the colors that I got, thankfully, were good enough for her to also use. So there's that. I'm a little bit everywhere in this video, so I apologize. Like I said, I'm not on my game. I'm gonna go ahead and start on my foundation. This is a Sonia Kashuk. Technically it's a contour brush, but it's like a flat angle brush. I prefer to use that for my foundation. And I'm using the Colourpop No Filter foundation, and this is in the shade Dark 175. It's not a perfect match, but I think it's actually funny because like when you see it up here, you can see that it does match me closer. I look really bright on camera. A lot of people think I'm lighter than I really am. I'm not that light, y'all. I start with about 3 pumps on the back of my hand. It's a little liquidy. It's definitely not a perfect match, but it was my first round trying to order those because you do have to get them online. They don't have them in my Ulta, and so it's not like I could go in and try them. It's a little more orange than I would like, which is why I like going in with that corrector first when I use this foundation. But it's not bad once I finish applying everything. You guys have seen me with this foundation on a lot, and I've never gotten a comment saying that it looks bad or anything. So you can see like it's not a perfect match, but it'll do. But yeah, so it's been rough just because I I had surgery, and then a few days later I lost someone that I really, really loved and cared about. Surgery was wild, y'all. Thank you to everyone that like reached out to me and sent me love and prayers and support. Spiritually, I'm always appreciative anyway, but like that was a much more difficult surgery than I expected and the doctors expected. Like, it was a lot. Thank you guys for, you know, just sending your prayers and your well wishes and just rooting for me to come out healthy and happy. The morning of was wild because I was really sick. This might be TMI, and I guess like for those of you that are squeamish, I'm not gonna say anything nasty in this video, but like if talking about medical stuff like that, surgeries, things like that grosses you out, you may not want to listen to this. But I was really sick the morning of. Like, I had really bad diarrhea just out of nowhere, and like for me, truthfully, it worried everybody else, I think, because I also had a low-grade fever. But for me, I wasn't necessarily concerned because you guys know that because of my endo, I've had really, really bad GI issues. And so waking up and having that issue isn't necessarily something new. I also, like, I have IBS, and a lot of people that suffer with any type of anxiety, like, you don't have to be diagnosed, but if you're just like an anxious person, you know, unfortunately IBS kind of comes with that. And I'm not an anxious person, but it's kind of something that has developed over time. So because of all of the issues that I've had, GI wise, I was not worried. I was just like, you know, it is what it is. I wasn't bothered, but my doctor, he was like, you know, this is not going to be an easy surgery, and he was like, I don't want you to be like sick, because they were worried that I might have had the flu. He was like, I don't want you to be sick and then you're trying to recover from a major surgery and recover from like the flu. And I mean, that makes sense. I'm going in with the Colourpop No Filter Concealer in the shade Medium Dark 36. Yes, sweetheart. She's actually being really quiet right now, but she's a super vocal cat, so like when I do videos, y'all are gonna hear her. She's more vocal than Z is, and Z is a talking cat. So it took me long enough because I was sick when I got to Medical Park, which is the location where I had my surgery. If you are like from the Winston area, then you know where that is, like connected with Forsyth Hospital and all that. So I was late going back there just because I was already sick. I was in the bathroom in the waiting room sick. And like in places like that where literally all they do is surgery, they kind of rush you a little bit. And I kind of had to make them slow things down. Not intentionally, like I didn't tell them like, whoa, y'all are doing too much. But because of what I was dealing with, they definitely couldn't, you know, go as fast as they needed to. Like, I couldn't pee because I was sick, so they couldn't, you know, do the samples that they needed. It was just a mess. And then they had to call over to the hospital and get like swabs and stuff to test me for the flu and basically anything else under the sun, because they were trying to make sure that I wasn't sick. And basically, like at that point, my doctor was like, I think that we may need to cancel the surgery and like come back and try again. And I'm just like sitting in the hospital bed, just like trying not to cry. Like my mom was with me and she was like, it's gonna be okay, like don't worry. And I told her, I was like, I know in my heart of hearts, like I'm not sick. Like I know when I'm sick, and I knew that I wasn't sick. Obviously, like I was a little weak because like when you have surgery, you can't eat after midnight. And so I hadn't had any food, but I had diarrhea. And like you can imagine, like that's a lot on somebody's body. Especially a body like mine that's already compromised. And so I knew I wasn't sick. I knew I was just tired. And so I just kind of, you know, I took a nap and I just let them do what they needed to do. It took forever to get the stuff back, but they got the okay. I didn't have the flu, thank God. You know, they got the test back and they wheeled me back there like automatically, and they were like, okay, like let's do this, because I was scheduled, I had to be there at 7:30 and they got me back there at like 8 o'clock, so I should have been on the table by 8:30. I didn't get on the table, I wasn't on the table until like 11. That's how long it took to get the results and everything. So that was a lot. It was crazy, y'all. It was really, really stressful. But basically my surgery was supposed to be, I'm gonna add a little bit more concealer just to kind of brighten like right here. The surgery was only supposed to be like 2 hours tops. It was almost a 4-hour surgery. You guys, I've told you guys about what endometriosis is and how it works and progresses through the body, and I had basically a very rare, awful case, and most of my organs were like basically like cemented together by the scar tissue from my uterus. So it took a lot of time for them to get everything off, and so they had to remove all of that scar tissue first, and then they had to work on, you know, like my uterus and my ovaries. And so because there was so much in my body, he didn't feel comfortable taking out my right ovary. I told you guys that that was something that we thought was going to happen, and he didn't feel, yes ma'am. This is all new to Ellie, so she's just like, what the hell are you doing? So yeah, I told you guys like we had discussed like the possibility of having to take out my right ovary, and because of all of the trauma that had already been inflicted on my body, because like your organs have very delicate tissues, and so even though it was a robot surgery, everything was super precise. Like you guys have to imagine like having all of that on your organs and then having to remove all of it. It's a lot on the body. I'm just using my Kat Von D translucent powder. This stuff is like never ending. I have so much of it. Honestly, like at first I was a little disappointed, but when I thought about it, I was like, yeah, taking it out probably would have been way too much on me. It was supposed to be an outpatient surgery, and I was so run down from all the anesthesia, because basically, like, because it was a longer procedure, they had to keep giving me medication to make sure I didn't wake up. And so, y'all, this is, my channel is just gonna be the crazy cat channel. But, so, like, I remember that morning. I don't remember anything before that though. Like that whole week is a blur. I don't remember anything. I remember that morning, and I remember like points in the recovery room where I was trying to wake up. And so like there was one point where I heard them saying like, we're really worried, like she's not waking up. And I was, I guess not necessarily completely conscious, but I could hear what they were saying, and I was like, oh shit, like I need to wake up. So at that point, like I'm just sitting there like trying to get them to see that I'm awake. And they did. I got their attention because I couldn't really talk. You know, they put a breathing tube down your throat, so it was hard for me to talk because my throat hurt. And they asked me like, are you okay? And I was like, no, my throat hurts. And they were like, yeah, that's just from the breathing tube, you know, which I already knew that. But I was maybe conscious for like a minute, and then I passed right back out. And I would like come to for a little bit, and I would see the nurses, and I would see my doctor, and he was just like standing around waiting to see if I was gonna wake up. And so he would come over and he would talk to me, and like he told me what had happened, and he didn't go into major detail, I think because he knew I was only going to remember so much of the conversation. But every time I would wake up, I would go right back down. And so they had to keep me overnight because they were like, well, we can't have her leaving barely conscious, you know, which I'm happy they didn't, you know. And then I'm just going to set the rest of my face with my Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place Powder Makeup, and this is in the shade 5W2. I think they've like reformulated and repackaged this. This is really good. I didn't even purchase this intentionally. I just got it on accident, but this is really good. It looks lighter on camera than it is in the actual pan, but I like to use this if I have a foundation it's a tad bit darker than my complexion, even though I think I do a very good job of evening out my complexion. So yeah, that's how that day went. It was wild. It was a lot. It was stressful. At some points it was a little scary for me because I really thought that, like, after all this time, you know, like I'd taken a month off of work for this, and it seemed like it wasn't going to happen. And I'm also using, what is this? It is the e.l.f. powder brush. So it's a flat top brush. And sometimes if I want just a little bit more coverage from the powder, a little bit more smoothness, then I will use this. If I just want a light dusting of powder, then I'll use like a large powder brush, like a large fluffy powder brush. So that was how that went. Recovery from that point on was really hard. I'm happy that they kept me overnight because I don't think I would have I wouldn't have been able to deal with everything on my own at home. And my mom, bless her heart, I don't think she would have either. I think she would have been a bucket of stress. It was a lot. I was really sick after surgery. I'm pretty sure I have vertigo. And so I knew I was going to get sick because when I was in my room, like I was actually admitted, like I had visitors come in, I had nurses come in, and the whole time, like I would be good until I would turn my head and I would be like, you know, I knew I was going to get sick as soon as they made me walk, and I knew they were going to make me get out of bed. I'm just using a Sony Kashuk blending brush. I don't know. I rubbed the name off of it. I use this more than any brush that I own. It's a really nice brush. And let's see. I have the Through My Eyes palette from ILoveSarahii and Colourpop. Colourpop. I don't know why I said it like that. Colourpop. So that's what those shades look like. I'm going to predominantly use this. Hi, baby. But I also wanted to pull out my Anastasia Sultry palette for some other colors. Just some blending colors. Some colors to deepen up my look. So I hauled this quite some time ago. I'm probably going to use like the purpley colors in the palette. So here's what I'll do. I'll start with Sandalwood. It's like a creamy color, kind of almost neutral, more on the neutral cool side. I'm just gonna go in here. And I'll just tell you guys, like, Colourpop shadows aren't bad, but they're not that good. Like, whenever I use these, I have to work harder to place and blend. They are very thick shadows, and thick in a way that can be a little cumbersome. So I'm just gonna lay that down over. I have a very weird eye shape, in terms of like my lid space, and so I have like a lot of, like, I have a very tiny like actual eyelid here, and I have all this space up here. There she is. That's Ellie. She's a little chunkus. Yes, I called her a chunkus. She's a chunky cat, y'all. Ellie, come here. I mean, look at her. She's chunky. Compared to Z, she is very, very chunky. Z used to be very chunky back in the day, but Z is going to be 15 this year. She's an old girl. So she's lost a lot of her chunk. But yeah, those of you that didn't know that, she is like, she's getting up there. I don't want to think about it because that's my baby. I don't want to think about her getting old. So I am taking the shade Birch from Anastasia, and I am also kind of just throwing that onto my upper lid slash crease, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I knew I was gonna be sick once they had me move, and I was sick. It was really wild. For those of you guys that are in a situation where you know you're possibly going to have this surgery, it's not always going to be that difficult. Like the first one that I had, my exploratory, wasn't that bad, and like in a week's time I was running around doing all sorts of stuff. Really depends on how everything has progressed in your body. Not everyone's body is going to be the same, and so you have to take that into account. Also consider I've had quite a bit of surgery, and so that in itself makes things more difficult for my body, because the more surgery you have, the harder it is. So I'm going to go in with Nostalgia. That's this color, that like light pink purpley color. So don't necessarily be discouraged. Just because I had a difficult experience with it doesn't mean that you will. Everyone's body is different, and also remember that, like, okay, this one's blending better. Remember that my case is very advanced, and I mean, there are some women who have had cases like mine who have had stuff all throughout their abdominal cavity, and they never had a lick of pain. Like, they didn't know that they had endometriosis until they like tried to get pregnant, and that's when they found out that they had the disease. So everyone's diseases present differently. Everyone's bodies take things differently. So hearing how things went for me, don't be nervous if you have been talking to your doctor about doing the surgery, because it's going to be fine. All in all, I think I'm doing pretty well, considering. So like right now I'm in a little bit of pain sitting, but it's not that bad. It's more so like when I raise my arms really high and stuff, like that's when it hurts. Or like if I try to twist, I'm a stomach sleeper, so obviously that sucks. I can't lay on my stomach. And so if you have no clue how they do the laparoscopy, just so you guys know, usually it's about 3 incisions in the stomach. That's what it was the first time that I did it. This time around it was 5. That's how much damage I had. I have 5 incisions on my belly, so I have 2 on each side, and then I have 1 in my belly button. This is gonna be a long video, so I hope y'all are mentally prepared for that. If not, it's cool. I am more so making this for people that want to know what happened. I wanted to film, I wanted to like start transitioning back into filming without having to force myself to do hair, because like I said, I can't right now. I really need to wash my hair because I have had these braids in since the night before surgery. So I do need to do that. I don't know. I could probably get away with co-washing and it won't take as long. But I'm just not looking forward to it because I know it's going to hurt. Those of you a lot of y'all are probably thinking, why don't you just ask your mom to do it? My mom's not here. My mom's in Virginia with my family. My grandpa's funeral is on Monday. She's been gone all week. So it's been hard because, I mean, like, obviously my dad's here. And I'm going to go in with the shade Misbehave. That's this, like, darker fuchsia color. But, like, my dad's here, and he's a really good nurse. He's always been really, really good at taking care of people, so it's not that. It's just that there are just some things that I wish my mama were here for, and she can't be here for that right now. So I'm going to kind of start to carve this out. A lot of times, because of my eye shape, I will just use this blending brush to do what I need to do. Because I have so much space, and sometimes, like, using smaller brushes will just get really, really annoying. Because it's not like with other people's eyelid shapes, where they can really, like, get into that crease and build it. It's just, like, for me, it's there. But yeah, that's pretty much how surgery went. It was wild. It was a crazy experience, but I'm just really, really lucky. And this is something that I have preached multiple times. I had an amazing team of doctors who took insane care of me. And when I say amazing, like, my nurses were shook because, like, so for what I have, and for what my doctor does, so he's a pelvic health specialist. So he specializes in this. He basically did dissertations on endometriosis. Like, he's super knowledgeable. And so because of that, they're usually, like, minimally invasive surgeries that don't require patients to stay at night. But my body was just a different case. And so they were saying, like, oh my God, your doctor's so nice. Like, he's so great. Like, he's so invested. And I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, that's how it should be. But I know with a lot of surgeons, that's not the case. And the thing is, like, when it comes to endometriosis, and I'm not saying it shouldn't be this way with other diseases, but because of what it entails, it's very personal. And especially, like, for a lot of women, trusting a man with that issue is really, really difficult. For me, it's been the men that I've had that have done better jobs at caring for me on a doctor-patient level, as opposed to the women. A lot of the women, like, tried to put me in their shoes, which is something that I don't like. Like, I'm not you. I'm me, and my body is different, and I'm not, you know, every other woman. You know, I would always get the, oh, well, at your age, and it's like, well, it doesn't matter because clearly my history shows that I've consistently dealt with things that are beyond what I should be dealing with for my age. So, you know, that was annoying as hell. And so finding him, and the doctor that I had before him was really great too. He was really sweet, and that's how I ended up with this doctor because, you know, he basically said, like, my practice is not going to let me take care of you. And so he was like, as much as I would like to do this surgery because we've been in this for so long, he was like, I need to hand you off to somebody that can do things at a fuller scope. And so he was big enough to send me to somebody else. I had two surgeons on my case. I had my pelvic health doctor, and then I had an oncologist on my case. The oncologist is he is a pelvic oncologist. He's also super duper sweet. And when he saw my case, he just took an immediate, like, we need to do something about this, type of attitude. And so I was very lucky because I had doctors that really were invested in helping me feel better, which is something that unfortunately a lot of women don't get. So I feel really blessed and really lucky to have had the care and the treatment that I had. The nurses, they were like, your doctor has been calling like every couple of hours to see how you're doing and see how you're feeling, and they were really impressed and taken aback by like how invested he was and how much care he took with me as a patient. I'm going into the shade Divina, this purple color. Yeah, like he called and checked on me all throughout the night, up until it was like he had to go to bed, you know, and he did come and see me in the morning and see how I was doing. And he was there the night that I was admitted to. He was there then. So I was very super duper blessed in that regard, and that's why one of the biggest things I suggest to anybody dealing with this is you have to find a doctor that is invested in your well-being and care. Not someone who's just like a good doctor, because there are tons of good doctors out here that are not necessarily going to take your case seriously. I've had tons of good doctors, and a lot of them didn't do anything for me. And I just took one of my taper blending brushes from my ABH palette, just to apply that Divina shade, and then I'm going to take this to blend it out. But yeah, so that's the number one thing that I will always suggest, especially if you have a case that has just really progressed and you are in massive amounts of pain, you know, your quality of life has dwindled. That is something that I highly suggest to all of my ladies, because it's not easy. And the thing is, when it comes to the medical field, sometimes you can feel like you've lost your mind. Like, some of these doctors will literally make you feel like you are crazy or stupid or a combination of both. And they will make you feel like that you're not experiencing what you're experiencing. And that is a very harsh reality, and that it really sucks and it hurts, because you know that something's not right. You know it's not in your head, but you have doctors that will tell you that it is, and they do not care. They will just continue to beat into your head that you are imagining things, even though you're not. And so when I met this doctor, like, he took my case very seriously, and that's why it did take some time after meeting him to get to the point where we did surgery, just because he wanted to cover all of the bases. So that's how I ended up with the GI doctor and finding out what I found out about that. He's very thorough. He's a great doctor, and I am so super duper thankful for the care that I have received. All the nurses at the hospital were amazing, just really sweet and kind and understanding. And I don't know, it just seemed like everyone there loved me, even though it just felt like I was the problem child of the day. I really did. I told one of the nurses, I was like, I feel like such a problem child, and she was like, you are not a problem child. And I'm like, but I feel like I am. I feel like I took this out too far, but that may just be in my head. I think it's just in my head. I can clean it up with powder, because I don't really take my shades underneath my eyes that far. Like, I will bring it underneath here, like that crease right here, but that's about as far as I will go, just because I do have very small eyes, and so sometimes bringing my shadow in too far can make my eyes look smaller. So I'm going to stop here and add my lid color. So I want to use the shade Flex, and we're going to see how that comes out on the eyes. So yeah, if you guys have any additional questions about the surgery, of course let me know. It entails a lot, and if you find someone that's really good, it's not going to be a walk in the park. Like, it shouldn't be. Like, it shouldn't just be, oh, I told you about this and now you're gonna open me up. Like, they should be looking at every single angle of what's been going on with you. and making sure that they handle everything, just so that once everything is said and done, you're not dealing with all this excess residual pain from other organs, you know? Like, it's not just the endometriosis that is the concern. I'm gonna take my Urban Decay. This doesn't have a name. This is the brush that came in my electric palette, and it is my favorite brush for packing on glittery shadows like this, especially my Colourpop shadows. This brush applies Colourpop eyeshadows like a dream, and I really like this color. Doing makeup once makes me want to get a better camera. Ooh. Ooh. So yeah, but like I said, definitely let me know if you have any additional questions about that, because it is a lot. It's a lot to prepare for, and my journey is very indicative of that. It takes a lot to get to the point where someone listens to you anyway, unfortunately. That is a process, and that's something that you have to be willing to be patient for, because you don't want to get through a surgery and you think you're supposed to feel insanely better, and then you don't, because you find out, oh well, hey, like I have this going on, and you know, like if there's anything else that needs to be handled prior to, then I highly suggest making sure that you have someone that's willing to help you take care of that first before anything else. So that's just my 2 cents on that. This is beautiful, y'all. Like, honestly, this isn't picking up how great any of this looks like, but I will do some final shots of how my makeup looks afterward. But the Colourpop mattes are not my favorite, but the shimmers are really, really nice. So if you've been looking into, you know, some Colourpop shadows, I would say try it out. My favorites from them are still the Super Shock. I'm also going to go grab one of the Super Shock shadows because I want to put that in my inner corner. Okay, so I decided to go with the Super Shock shadow in the shade Lovely. So kind of like a champagne-y gold. I'm just going to use the thin, tiny side of that Urban Decay brush. And yes, ma'am. This is a really nice inner corner highlight, and it's also very nice on the lid as well. These are like, if you've never used a Colourpop Super Shock shadow, which I'm just gonna blend these two together where they meet. They have a really nice bouncy formula. Some of these I've had for a really long time, and they haven't like gotten gross or turned on me. So I know the texture changes a little bit, but I don't think they change enough to where I wouldn't buy them. But the Colourpop Super Shock shadows are still my favorite, like, formula from them. Especially if you love a good lid color. They're really nice. Their matte Super Shock shadows are great too for doing crease work and stuff. But you do have to be willing to take your time and really blend and work with the colors. And so I'm just going to just go back over and blend everything out. And so obviously if I start doing more makeup on my channel, makeup videos aren't going to be this long, but I'm not pushing myself because obviously, like, I'm not 100%. And so I need to do things at my own pace. So I'm not rushing this video at all. I'm sure I'll still cut a lot of this out because I did a lot of rambling. But yeah, so let's do some liquid liner. I like my Physicians Formula 2-in-1 Eye Booster Pen. I don't notice that this makes my lashes grow, but I do like it. It's a really great brush tip. A lot of brush tips aren't very good. This one is. But yeah, so that's pretty much it for my surgery update. I'm doing well. Recovery has been painful, but it's going to be. My body's been through a lot. So this is nothing about going through this is easy. But that's okay. I mentally prepared myself for that. Wing 1 is done. The hardest thing with my eyes is doing a wing and not covering up my lid color, because obviously I have teeny tiny lids. So I'm gonna go back into my brows. So that's how I do my brows. I like go ahead and carve out the shape, and then once everything is said and done, I go back and I just rework the brow. Y'all like cats, because we just cat universe up in here. And I'm gonna use the blush in Dusty Rose. This is from NYX. I wanted to update you guys because when you've seen this video, you will have already seen my curl box review. And just to update you guys, I did unsubscribe. I'm a little bit over curl box, truth be told. So the last box, the March box, I honestly felt like was not useful. I love this color, but so it was the African Pride Black Castor Miracle collection or whatever. And it's not useful for anybody unless you do braids. I'm sure y'all can tell from the state of my braids that I don't braid that often. And like, it didn't make any sense to me because first of all, they sent an edge control that was like black as hell. Like, I don't think anybody's hair is actually that color. So that was just annoying. And then the gel, I was like, oh, well, maybe I can do something with the gel. The gel is basically an edge control. Like, it's the same texture of an edge control. So you basically got a big ass jar of edge control and then a little thing of edge control. Jeez. So I was very annoyed by that box. The only thing I could really use was the oil, which I keep telling y'all I have enough oil. And the leave-in butter, which actually really has a nice texture. And I will probably use, just so y'all know, I'm going bougie. This is the Marc Jacobs Omega Glaze All Over Foil Luminizer in the shade 79 Gilty. This was also in my Sephora haul. This is one of the most expensive makeup products that I own, and I love it. It's amazing. Don't regret this purchase at all. It's so nice. Sorry the lighting is going in and out, but this is like... it's so damn like perfect for brown skin. This was from their holiday collection, but I hope that Marc Jacobs releases more highlighters in this formula because it is amazing. Usually I would use a pinkier highlight with a look like this, but I feel like this works really well. With that inner corner highlight, kind of ties everything in together. I don't want to be like completely monochromatic. Sorry, this brush is falling apart. This is the e.l.f. blush brush, but I like to use this for highlight. Usually what I'll do is set that Touch and Soul primer so I get the benefits of the smoothing properties, but it also like will last a little bit longer because it does make my face a little glowier. And I'm gonna do my Cupid's bow because I am gonna do a lippy. I'm trying to decide if I want to set my, if I want to do edge control today, like if I want to do fleeky edges. We'll see. This is gonna be a whole hangout video, y'all. But yeah, so I'm liking the look so far. Let me set, I'm gonna use my Urban Decay All-Nighter Makeup Setting Spray. That was also what I used to wet my brush when I applied this lid color. Yeah, that just ties everything together. The Urban Decay Perversion mascara, I probably need to throw this out. Mascara is like the one thing that I always forget to repurchase. Like I'll buy highlighters and foundations, blushes, eyeshadow palettes, single eyeshadows. I'll buy everything, but I will totally forget about my mascara. I picked up a lot of different lip colors because I didn't know what I wanted to do at the time. I have the Urban Decay lipstick in a blackmail. Good. So that's blackmail. I also have the Kat Von D matte Study Kiss Creme lipstick in Motorhead. That one would be nice, but I don't think I'm feeling that one. I'll use that another day. I also have the Studded Kiss Creme lipstick in Hawkwind. That's what Hawkwind looks like. That would actually be really pretty with this look. And then I also brought Wet n Wild Crazy for Coffee. This is a very, Crazy for Coffee is super duper close to the Urban Decay shade. I don't think I'm feeling going that dark today. I kind of want to line my lips with like a dark burgundy purple color, and do Hawkwind in the center, and then do this lip gloss. This is the Ultra Glossy Lip from Ellery in Steelo. Really like the Colourpop gloss formula. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I have Creature, so we can do Creature. That's what we're gonna do. So Creature is a really pretty like deep dark burgundy shade, and this is from Colourpop. I like where this is going so far. But yeah, I did end up canceling my curl box. I just like, I couldn't deal with them. And then like, it was just annoying with how they charged me. And then I was like trying to get in touch with people to cancel, which was my concern. Like, I'm just not into that. But I was really turned off by how they handled their $10 box. And so I told you guys that like their website sucks. It is really, oh, I like this. It's really frustrating to get on their website and try to purchase product. It's really, really frustrating. I really like this formula. I told y'all I'm like iffy on Kat Von D products, just with the drama that she's had. But that felt like butter going on the lips. I like this combination. Yeah, that's super pretty. So Creature from Colourpop and Hawkwind from Kat Von D is super duper pretty. I don't even know if I want to like gloss this. I don't know. Let's just do a little bit. We're playing in makeup. I'm not going anywhere. Oh, I like gloss. Never mind.
That's good.
This is sexy. I need to be going somewhere. But yeah, this is the completed makeup look. I really like it. I'll take some selfies to insert so y'all can see up closer. I hope I don't screw up this takedown. So y'all, I don't know if y'all see how this is looking. But so I used the Alikay Naturals Lemongrass collection on my braids. This is a much nicer takedown than I expected because my hair has been in these braids for like a week. So what I did was I washed, conditioned, deep conditioned, all of that good stuff. And then I separated my hair into 4 quadrants. And then I applied the lemongrass leave-in to each quadrant. After applying the lemongrass leave-in, I proceeded to braid my hair in 4 chunky braids, and I let my hair kind of dry a little bit. It said to apply the products to damp hair, like the twisting products. That looks really good. So I wanted my hair to be damp, not wet. So I let my hair get a little damp, and then I went in with the other products. Because I took the smallest amount of the twisting butter. I do have, y'all know I have fine strands. The twisting butter does feel a little weird going onto your hands, but I expected that just from Quinn Ray's review. She said that the twisting butter did feel a little odd, but it gave her great results. So I went in with that just a little bit, maybe like a very true to size, dime size amount. I didn't want to do too much at all. And I rubbed that throughout the section. And at this point I was doing tinier sections, so I was working on each braid. Smooth that down with my Denman brush. And then I took the mousse from the collection, added a few pumps of that on top, and then continued to smooth with my Denman. And then afterward, I went ahead and braided up each section. And this was how I went to surgery. I went to the room just like this. I, you know, strolled up in there looking like, bye Felicia. I was totally okay with that, and I just put my African Pride scarf on. I got that in the curl box. It was like the only useful thing that I got aside from the edge brush that they put in there. My braids are still very moisturized. They are not dry. I heard that the mousse was drying a lot of people's hair out. That people really just didn't like these products. Truth be told, after actually using them, I feel like this collection has been a little too harshly criticized. Now, obviously, I haven't used the gel, And a lot of people really don't like the gel. I think my hair looks really good, y'all. By the way, I've never done a braid out. So this is the first thing that I've ever remotely done to a braid out. So a lot of people are really mad about the gel. A lot of people said it felt like Vaseline, even though I don't know what y'all are talking about. I don't know what kind of Vaseline y'all been using, but that does not feel like Vaseline. Like, I need y'all to, if you're gonna come correct with the with the critiques, like, come correct, you know? My lips look so juicy. But yeah, I don't know where people got that from, because I totally don't see that at all. Y'all, I'm liking how this is looking. I don't know what it's gonna look like when I take everything out and fluff, but alright, so I'm gonna add some more of the lemongrass oil to my fingers, and I'm gonna start separating. Another thing that's really hard for me to achieve with set styles is a volume. Like, I know people think, oh, wash and goes, it must be really hard for you to get that. It's a lot harder for me to get that with set styles than it is for me to get that with wash and goes. So this is how my hair looks after kind of like lightly fluffing my hair, lightly separating. I really like it. I like it because, like, for me, it's the perfect combination of definition and frizz. Yeah, it feels really good. It's really nice and soft and hydrated. Wow. Okay, I'm really excited because I didn't know how this was gonna turn out at all. And then the edge control is like really strong, y'all. Like, it's thick. Hold up. Okay, so first of all, like, I love this edge control. It's amazing. I don't usually have a lot of edge controls in my collection. I usually keep one. Right now I have like 3. But guys, like, oh my god, I love it. I need to pick the back of my hair because I feel like you can still see the part in it. Oh my god. Okay guys, so this is the final look. So here's my hair and here's my makeup. I feel so beautiful right now, guys. And I don't know, I might like put my hair up and see how this holds throughout the night, because I'm supposed to be hanging out with some friends tomorrow. I don't know if I'm gonna make it just because I'm in a lot of pain still. But thank you guys for joining me for this just like little sit down, get ready with me, chit chat, you know, get pretty situation. I am so appreciative of every single one of you guys. Y'all are amazing. Y'all are so sweet. Thank you for checking up on me. Thank you for praying for me. Thank you for actually caring. You guys have just been so kind and supportive, and I'm so lucky to have a group of people that, you know, y'all don't know me from a can of paint, but y'all are so supportive and just happy for me. It's been a really hard week, but like, knowing that I have this amazing, like, even this the tiniest platform with the most amazing people has really gotten me through a lot. And I really just wanted to sit down and just talk to you guys because y'all are just so dope. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope that by the time y'all finish doing whatever it was y'all were doing, y'all felt as good as I do, because I feel like so renewed and rejuvenated and I haven't even left the house yet. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!